Where can you find videos of the best players in the world in their entirety and without commercials? accustats.com. How about 8-ball, 9-ball, straight pool, 1 pocket, and 3 cushion billiards? accustats.com. Only one place has it all. Check out our complete catalog on the net, 24 hours a day. Where do you ask? accustats.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jim White, and welcome to the 2003 U.S. Open 9-Ball Championships. I'm joined here by my cohort, Billy Incardona. And Billy, I think it's very safe to say this match this evening presents us with a little contrast in styles.
Well, a little more than just a little contrast in styles. Jose Parica, I'd like to apologize. The last time he played here, I said that he didn't have a world championship, but he does. In 1988, he was the world champion. I do apologize for not mentioning that. But in the meantime, he's won many other titles as well. He's the most feared 9-ball player on the planet today. But, you know, he's going to have a controversial figure playing against him tonight. In 1980, 1990, this guy here played about as good as the game could be played.
Well, Billy, I was going to say also another thing that Jose is going to have to contend with is, you know, that this crowd, Keith McCready has a very, well, he's got the ability to bring the crowd into the game. Is that a fair statement?
Well, let's put it like this. He's not afraid to make a statement with his mouth that his stick can't catch. And he's got that air of arrogance and cockiness about himself that makes you want to love him, hate him, and then love him again. I tell you what, we're going to be thoroughly entertained with this match tonight.
Well, we're all looking forward to it. I can tell you we've got a packed house here in the conference center, and there's no point in keeping these folks waiting. Let's pass it right over to Scott Smith and bring the players in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 28th edition of the United States Open 9-Ball Championships, and you're tuned in to Billiard Club Network. At this time, we'd like to introduce the principals for this matchup. Our first gentleman is currently ranked #1 in the world on the Senior Tour, currently ranked #2 in the world in the UPA Tour, sponsored on tour by Remax Pros and Falcon Q Tour. Ladies and gentlemen, the first in a long line of great players to come over from the Republic of the Philippines. Please give him a warm welcome, Jose Parica, Republic of the Philippines. Thank you. And his opponent, former winner of the BC Open. You saw him in the Color of Money. Now you're going to see him on Billiard Club Network. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California, the Earthquake, Mr. Keith McCready. Thank you. Gentlemen, you may lag for the first break.
The lag, Billy, and it starts here.
Well, Jim, you probably really don't know McCready as well as I do. And what I said was true. In the 80s and 90s, he was just about unbeatable when he was on his game. He beat Mike Siegel when Mike Siegel was playing his best pool. He beat Buddy Hall. He beat them all and beat them convincingly. He shoots so straight, and when he's confident, and when you see him walking around that table with that air of arrogance and cockiness, and he's on his game, he's such an entertaining player and such a talent.
Well, one thing about it, he's got a very unique style with his sidearm delivery of the cue. And he's as colorful a character as you're ever likely to see around a pool table. We're off.
Well, I'm going to tell you, he's going to have to deliver tonight because he's playing, in my opinion, one of the most talented and fearless players in the world, Jose Parica. Tremendous player with a big heart. He knows what to expect from McCready. He's totally prepared himself for everything McCready can give him, verbally and also on the table. So therefore, you know, I expect to see a real close and exciting match, and I really believe Parica's going to end up on
the upside of this match,
yeah.
Billy.
But I'm not going to discount McCready, because if he catches a stroke, gets a flashback, anything can happen.
Well, I see this match developing simply based on how Jose Parica can handle McCready, his antics, and how McCready can bring the crowd into the game. Jose's got the experience. He's certainly got the game. And it's just a matter of allowing himself to do what he does best.
Well, Parica's first opportunity at the table, he seems to be handling quite well, positioning the cue ball ideally for the 3 ball, which will keep him down this end of the table for the 4-8 combination. The rack laid rather nicely for him. Therefore, that was a pretty good opportunity he received in rack number 1. Now look at this. That was certainly unexpected. Following the 3 ball to the side cushion and then against the 9 with the cue ball, that really was an unexpected, unforced error there. I mean, big time error. Big time error. You can't allow McCready out of the chair winning the first game, start getting verbal with you, because if he starts doing that, he may take you out of the game, as far as mentally.
Well, he's had some massive scalps already here this week. At the inception of the 2003 U.S. Open 9-ball, he beat last year's runner-up, Alex Pagulayan.
This match will be a better match if McCready wins the early games. But if he goes on and doesn't win the early games and loses the early games, Parica may run away with it. But if McCready wins the early games, we're going to have a fantastic match, because I know Parica has the heart that we could come back on him. And I think that's what we want to see. And then at the end, it's going to be extremely exciting.
Well, Jose with a glaring mistake here on the intended 4-8 combination, and now he's going to have to get himself out.
Okay, it's absolutely imperative that McCready performs here.
And keep an eye on this. You'll see Keith at the table long before Jose departs it.
He doesn't take much time when he's at the table. And the first shot he hit very nicely. Long, difficult shot, pocketing in the center of the pocket. Certainly an indication that he's comfortable.
A little left-handed action for the earthquake.
Plays very well opposite hand, I might add. But he's got a lot of energy right now, and once again, he must control it.
Oh, I like the way he stepped back and walked into the shot, but look at how he uses that sidearm action. So unique. Billy, I've never seen another top cueman hold a cue like that.
Yeah, very few players have that sidearm action like him. But he has it, and he plays extremely well with it. Like I said, in the 80s, 88, 89, and 90, he was unbeatable. He's trying to regain some of that form. He's a decisive dog here. Oh, it was so important for him to win the game. It was so important.
Well, that 8 did everything except drop. And Parica just taking a little time, composing himself before he comes back to the table, and McCready did everything except knock that 8 in.
Parica opting to draw the cue ball straight back. Very, very good feel and touch, if you notice the results of the shot. Straight in on the 9.
Jose pockets the 9 and starts things out here in an ideal fashion. 1-0 in the race to 11.
McCready worked his way through the tough part of the rack, particularly the opening shot. He had a long, difficult shot on the 4 ball, which he pocketed in the center of the pocket. And he seemed to have been handling it very nicely until he shot the 8. I don't know what happened when he shot the 8. Did he take his eye off the ball?
Difficult to say. He slow rolled it, and I mean, you always try to give the player the benefit of the doubt, Billy, but that was a ball that he could have probably kicked in. Maybe it just turned on him slightly. He might have mishit the cue ball.
But in spite of that, I think we're going to see a pretty good performance from him, because he seems to be in real good stroke, both mentally and mechanically. Great break. Notice the action of the cue ball stopping in the center of the table, but he didn't pocket anything on the break.
And he's also not left Keith McCready anything. He's built a little wall around that 1 ball.
Yeah, this situation is going to be a hard situation for McCready to deal with, because he's going to have to push here, and after pushing, I know he's going to be at a disadvantage. He may even want to kick from this position, because there's no really place he can push that he's going to like it if he gets back to the table. Or when he gets back to the table.
The winner of this match will face the winner of the Rodney Morris-Jeremy Jones match, and that will be your A-side final. The loser here goes to the B side. Still not out of the tournament, but with a much more difficult road.
He kicked in the 7, 1-7 combination. The cue ball is working its way around, finally stopping before it gets behind the 4. So he actually can contact the 1. Now, I don't know what options he has here. I don't believe he can see the top side of the 1, so he's going to have to either bank it cross-side. He's repositioned the cue ball behind the 4, but it's falling a little short of the mark, leaving Parica a pretty simple safety and possible hook shot here.
Yeah, he's not going to like his next shot, Keith McCready. If Parica can elevate the back end of that cue and just hold that white behind the 2, that's where Keith is going to be trying to escape from. This could even go in.
McCready wants it to go in. Notice the position of the cue ball. Had that not gone in, McCready would have been really stuck in a real, almost impossible situation. But now, it's Parica that's looking at the problem instead of McCready.
Jose Parica, one of the very first, if not the first, Filipino star to make his way to American soil and compete in all these high-level events. Some say he was a player that Efren Reyes emulated. And what a shot there from Parica.
McCready would like to attack this from this angle here, giving him a chance to maybe luck in the 9 somewhere. I don't know if he has that angle.
Well, he's not left Jose anything easy, and he's going to be slightly hampered queuing right over that 3, or certainly the edge of it.
Yeah, this is not the easiest of shots. Matter of fact, this is a difficult shot. Parica standing over the cue ball, which is parked in front of the 3. Very difficult situation he's looking at right here. I don't even know what he plans to do with it. You know, the 8-ball position right here, if he tries to cut the 2 in, the cue ball figures to go in this direction somewhere around the 8. If he misses it, he's going to sell out his shot. But he can bridge comfortably. No, he has to go over the 3. You know, it's a very difficult shot, very difficult shot. I'd be surprised to see him do well with it. Okay, he went into the 8 with the cue ball, but he was still able to get the cue ball back down the other end of the table. A lot of distance now in between both the cue ball and the 2 ball. And to make matters worse, Jim, the cue ball's frozen on the bottom cushion. Extremely difficult shot.
Well, Keith, just contacting that off the bottom cushion. That was not intended, but it hasn't worked out too bad. He's got a lot of movement. Very edgy looking action right now. He's going to have to settle into this one.
Yeah, he did get quite fortunate that he was able to contact the 2 and then get a cushion. But that doesn't look good for McCready, because if he can't hit balls better than that, he's not going to come close to winning this match. He's got to gather himself somewhat. He's going to find himself behind the 5-8 when he gets back to the table, McCready that is, unless Parica goes for the shot. If I were he, I would play the safety here. I would have definitely played the safety there. He had a guaranteed lock-up safety. And with McCready off balance, you really don't want to give him a good opportunity like this at the table. That's what Parica did, exactly what he shouldn't have done. He has opened the door for McCready. You don't want to do that.
Very valid statement, Billy, and you see it an awful lot in 9-ball, in any cue sport. When you get a player struggling, don't give him any foundation with which to build any confidence.
McCready's a rhythm player, and he had him totally out of rhythm, keeping him in the chair, especially after he blundered the last couple times he was at the table. You don't want to give him something easy to get him in a rhythm that he enjoys playing in. That's what Parica did. Now, it's absolutely essential that he gets out here. He must get out here if he wants to compete. This is the same pocket that he missed the 8 in the last game. He's got to be careful here. Okay, this is game number 2. With the pocketing of the 8 and the 9, Jim, the match will be tied up.
He's not going to be missing this 9, Billy. He knows he needs this one to erase the memory of the last. And down it goes. 1-1 the score line. And Keith McCready is letting the crowd know he's here.
I beat the line. I got one.
You heard him there. He says, I beat the line. I got one.
And what he meant by that is, in every match, there's a number that the underdog should or shouldn't reach. He said, I beat the line. They said I wouldn't reach one. Real colorful player, you know. He's a very popular player from California. And one of the most popular players of all time, I would think.
Well, there aren't many empty seats here, if any, in the conference center in Chesapeake for this one.
This is a ball that he must bank underneath him now. If he banks the one underneath him, the cue ball then should take this position over here. And then if he happens to miss it, he'll have these two potential blockers.
He hasn't missed it, Billy. Beautifully played, and he's got a nice shot on the 2. He should be able to weave his way around the colors for position to the 3.
Okay, the angle that he's left himself with suggests that the cue ball will then go here and this way. Or it can go like this. He can drag it this way. Both shots have problems. So therefore, whichever shot he decides to shoot, whichever angle he decides to take, there's a problem. So he's going to have to do something special with it. See that one here? He almost brushed the 3, but he got away with it. He's ended up a pretty good line for the 3. If the 4 is pocketable in the same pocket, he then will play position for the 4 in the same pocket.
And again, the position should come natural because you've got a very nice angle on this 3.
But he has to be concerned with the 6 ball. The 6 ball is the green ball right here. He has to be concerned with the 6 ball. It's over at the other side of the table, around the area where the cue ball may be going to. He was able to avoid contacting or even getting behind the 6. And he's ended up an ideal line for the 4. The 5 is positioned in the center of the table. He should play position for the 5 in the left-hand side. Okay, he's really gone up table a little farther than he wanted, and he's on the wrong side of the 5 ball. So he may have the ability to go forward with right-hand spin. I believe that may be his only shot, to go forward with right-hand spin, or maybe just stop the cue ball where the 5 is now and accept that one. He had a different angle than the one I saw. Excellent shot with an ideal angle on the 7. Takes him away from the 9.
Controlling the cue ball to perfection. You can make this game look preposterously easy if you keep that white under wraps.
Parica definitely the technician between the two of them. McCready borders a line of haphazardness. But when balls are rolling right for him and he's playing well, he can't be stopped.
9 deposited, and Jose Parica once again gets his nose in front. It's a race to 11 to stay unbeaten in the 2003 U.S. Open. And Parica will be breaking in rack number 4. Billy, he looks totally unfazed by this situation. The enormity of being on center stage against, it's fair to say, a very partisan crowd.
Yeah, it's fairly fair to say that, because McCready just picks up supporters everywhere he goes. He just has that personality about himself. He just knows how to get people to like him. People really, first of all, they like underdogs to begin with, especially one that's cocky.
Once again, parking Whitey in the middle of the table.
3 ball in the corner pocket, but does he have a shot on the 1?
Very close.
McCready jumping out of his chair, standing in back of Parica, trying to decide whether or not, for himself at least, if he does have a shot on the one. Like Jim said, it's very close. The two balls positioned on the same side of the table that the one is. If he does have a shot on the one, the angle that he has takes him away from the two. Here's the two. Takes him away from the two, and he has to regain position for the two and land in a very small area on the table for position for the two. Very difficult shot to shoot. I look for him to play some sort of a safety here.
He'd have to be too precise in the positional aspect. That almost makes the shot a low percentage, even if he can see this one ball.
Yeah, I kind of like him banking the one up table, sending the cue ball to the left, or actually to our left, and then eventually over here, either behind the 9 or behind the 7. One or two. Banking, but good speed with the one ball. The one ball goes at the other end of the table. If he goes for the pocket with the one, I think he's making a mistake.
Looks like he's going for it. Well, no, what he's done is he's held the cue ball. This is a great little shot.
Right, he had an angle that he could hold the cue ball with, which even made that shot play better.
The way he cued up to it, Billy, looked as though he was playing bottom, which he did, and I thought he was going to try and swing that cue ball around the angles. We still had no confirmation as to whether or not he could even see that one. But either way, he's played a great shot.
McCready should hit this. I don't think he should hit it real hard either. He hit it, and it looks like, no, he hasn't gotten away with it. But the angle that Parica has is a rather flat angle. And when you consider the position of the two, where it's lying, position for the two isn't really that, it's not that probable that he'll end up with a shot on the two if he pockets the one. So I think what he really should do from this position is pocket the one and either play position for a bank on a two or play position to hook McCready off of the two behind the 6. He's asking a lot of himself if he tries to pocket the one and play position for the two in the lower left-hand corner. He played position for the bank cross side, but he's repositioned the cue ball very closely to the side rail.
And you saw his reaction after pocketing that one. He knew that he had drawn too far back.
I don't really like the option that he selected by playing position for the bank, because the 8 ball does block a part of the pocket. He's got to really tighten up his game against McCready. He really can't afford to allow McCready to get loose on him. So he's got to really make McCready earn everything he gets. And from this position, it doesn't look like he can pocket the 2 comfortably and come up with a shot on the 3. He's going to have to play some sort of a safety here.
Well, he got the 2 up against the 3 so that he's blocked the pocket. And it is unclear as yet as to whether Keith can see the edge of that 2. Maybe just.
This particular angle he's left with is a very difficult one to negotiate. He would like to hit the 2 here, come over here and over there, and then some way figure a way in between so these balls will get and come down table. But to do that is very difficult. Matter of fact, it's not even going to be an option for him. Oh, he was quite fortunate to have ended up in the spot that he ended up with. Look, the 2 ball doesn't pass the 7 in the upper left-hand corner, so therefore he hasn't really given up an offensive shot. Parica is saying to himself, how does he do this? How does he get away?
What's more, the safety, again, not that easy for Jose. He doesn't play shots too quickly when he's unsure. Takes a lot of time. He weighs up all the options.
I see a possible safety. I see that he can draw the cue ball back here, but he's doing something differently here. Now he's allowed McCready a shot on the 2. It's pocketable in the lower right-hand corner pocket, past the 5. He does have a pocket. Now the 3 is off the table, so the 4 ball will be the next ball he'll be playing position for, and that's positioned right here. McCready will then pocket the 2, sending the cue ball cross table, maybe over this way or possibly this way. I would shoot this shot in the fashion that offers the best chance of pocketing the 2. Wow, what a shot. That was a good shot there, Jim. Good shot. 6 ball's positioned in front of the side. If he can put the 4 down and stop there for the 5, all he'll need to do then is pocket the 5, stick the cue ball. The 6 is right there in front of the side. This is game number 4.
Some terrific shot making from the Earthquake. Doesn't have to do anything special from here.
Wanted a little more movement from the cue ball, but
No, he's not controlled the white very well there, Bill.
But that'll still work, considering the position of the 8. Yes, that'll certainly work. He's now ideally positioned for the 8 and then the 9.
Half a chance given to him by Parica, and he's taken it right to the bank. 9 down. McCready and Parica, 2 racks apiece. And it'll be Keith McCready to break off in rack number 4, not rack number 5.
I'd hate to think that Parica's taken McCready too lightly, and he's not playing a real solid game in terms of playing a good, solid safety game when given the opportunity.
Well, one thing about it, Keith McCready, and when he starts talking, he can take you out of focus. Breaks off here in rack number 5.
He pocketed a ball on the break, I do believe 3. No, he didn't pocket a ball on the break. He didn't pocket a ball on the break. Parica's straight on the 1. The 2 balls on the other end of the table, but the 3 ball separates the 1 and the 2. So therefore, he's going to have to do something with the cue ball, bring it back to get a shot on the 2. And he has to bring it back precisely about 1.5 feet.
I think that looks perfect. He's had a look.
He's got that look of killer on his face now. He says, enough of this nonsense. He says, I'm going to take care of business. And that's what he needs to do. He can't afford to get loose on McCready. Give him anything he doesn't earn, because McCready will eat him up if he does that. You want to keep McCready in the chair. The 5 ball position at the other end of the table. The key shot is going from the 4 to the 5. So now he can do one of 2 things here. He can either come this way or this way. He can't afford to do that. And he can't afford to get unsettled and nervous against McCready, because McCready will feed off of it.
Well, you heard him. He was leading the chants from the crowd. And he's starting to get them involved now. And Jose Parica, if he didn't know what he had to contend with before, he most certainly does now.
Well, I'll tell you about that little shot, Jim. That was quite a little shot there. It took a lot of control to reposition the cue ball where he did. And now, once again, he positions the cue ball very nicely for the 6, which will fall nicely for the 7. He seems to be getting a little more comfortable with every shot.
Well, that one certainly wiped his feet.
These are very unforgiving pockets, keep in mind, very small pockets.
9 down, and McCready 3-2 in front of Parica, and much to the delight of this crowd.
Yeah, pockets are about as big as a watermelon.
Billy, does he ever stop?
Well, as long as he can win, that's how long he'll talk. The only way to shut him up is to keep him in the chair, because when he's out on the floor, that's when he's doing his thing. He's entertaining. And he feels that when he gets verbal out there, that it affects his opponent psychologically. And that's the way he believes, and that's why he does it.
Ball down off the break, and he's got a shot at the 1.
He certainly does, and all the balls are lying quite nicely, I might add. If he's able to get a shot, come up with a shot on the 2, the rest of the balls seem to be laying really well on the table here. Let's take a look.
Break speed of 17.9, very slow by professional standards, but obviously exercising on the side of control.
Excellent shot, Jim. Notice the 6 blocking in the pocket for the 4. He's positioned the cue ball in a position on the table where now he can pocket the 4 at the other end of the table. And he got up with a perfect angle on the 3 to do what he just did. Now all he'll need to do now is pocket the 4 and make sure he doesn't get careless here. Oh, he's starting to get a little careless. Notice the cue ball got away from him a little bit. He's got to channel that energy. He's got to make sure that he can control his game somewhat. Now he'll be able to cut this 5 ball into the corner pocket. It's a thin cut, but he hits these well. Now this shot, he has to make sure that he draws back enough so he doesn't scratch cross side. He has to put a good stroke on the 6 ball. That side pocket's awfully large. Oh, he's going around the other way, taking the side pocket out of play. Very intelligent shot.
Nice angle to drop back onto the 9.
Wow, this is game number 6.
And Keith McCready, 4-2 in front of Parica. And listen to the crowd. They love it. What on earth is he saying?
Well, he's got all these crazy words that he comes up with. I mean, they mean something, I guess. Dipsy-do and whatever that means, I don't know. But he's comfortable, and he's starting to like it out there. When he starts to like it, his opponent starts to not like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot better if you keep racking like you did the last game.
You can hear him talking even to Carmine Sardo.
One on the side, and he's come up with another shot, Jim. Look at the 3-9 combination right here in the position of the 2.
Well, I guarantee you, everyone here enjoying this except one man, and that's Jose Parica, who sat in his chair.
There's the 2, there's the 3, there's the 9. Boom.
3-9 combination.
Something that Parica didn't want to see, a short rack.
And the 9's there. And listen to the crowd. This is the last thing that Jose Parica wanted to see. If he could have kept McCready in his chair, he also would have kept the crowd out of this. 5-2 now. Keith, the Earthquake McCready, in front of Parica.
I travel a lot around the country, Jim. I know people just about in every region. And every time I bump into someone that knows Keith, they always ask me, have you seen Keith lately? What's he doing? He's so popular, and everyone, I was always thinking about him because he's such an animated type of a person. And you really can't forget him once you know him.
Well, he doesn't have a shot on the 2 this time. Made the 1 again in the side, so he's got the measure of the break in that regard.
But if he happens to go on and win this U.S. Open title, a lot of people will know where he is and what he's doing.
Difficult shot here, though, on the 2. Taking a lot of time. You can always push out, Billy. And I wonder if that's not what he's trying to weigh up right now.
Yeah, he's going to be at a disadvantage after he pushes. And there's no way Parica's going to give him the shot. Parica's going to reposition the cue ball probably up table somewhere. But there are problems if he accepts the shot. If he tries to clip the edge of the 2 and go this way up table, the 3 ball plays very big. Or he can do this. He can bank the 2 in toward the 9, sending the cue ball this way up table. I think that's a better shot. Now he has, see, if he can, the value with this shot is that if you bank the 2 toward the 9, sending the cue ball long, you can get in back of the 5 ball and utilize the 4 and also the 6 as potential pockets and still have a chance to pocket the 9. I don't know. It's possible that he's left McCready the edge of the ball from my vantage point, and yeah, I think he's left him the edge of the ball.
Difficult, though.
Well, it's going to work out for him. It's going to work out for him.
When Keith McCready speaks, the balls listen.
But I think what Parica has in mind is that he's going to draw off the right side of the 2 ball into the 7. The 2 ball then should hit this cushion over here and go this way. The cue ball will then probably go forward after contacting the 7 and land somewhere in this area here. I don't think McCready's going to like it when he steps back to the table. Oh, it got the kiss off the 6, allowing McCready back at the table with a long, straight, difficult shot on the 2, especially when you consider the position of the 3 at the other end of the table. Here's the 3. He went rail first. He's got that outside spin. He may come up with a shot on the 3. He can cut the 3 in from this position. If he makes this, he's going to be very difficult to beat.
What a shot from McCready there. And he's landed on the 4. Still some work to do in this rack. But he's going to be the first one in with a shout.
Okay, now he's got a problem. The position of the 6 resting against that cushion. Here's the 5. Looks like he's straight in. I don't know what he can do, if anything. If I were he, I'd look to play some sort of a safety off the 6 and not try to gain position for it here. What a shot. Oh, my, what a shot.
Look out.
What a shot.
That cue ball tracking towards that corner pocket. Some kind of shot.
He's got to get off that cushion far enough to be able to pocket the 7. Perfectly positioned for the 7 and also the 8 that's on the same side of the table. Boy, he's starting to play now, Jim. Do you understand what I'm talking about? When he's on his game and things start to go his way, he's just about unbeatable.
Well, look at the shots that he is pulling out of his bag here. The 9 down, 6-2, Keith McCready over Jose Parica. The earthquake rumbling here in Chesapeake.
It's still early, guys.
Well, he's letting everybody know it's still early. He's got a lot of teammates out there, Billy.
Yes, he does. And he picks more up every rack that he wins.
Wastes little time. He's back at the table, all set. The break in
One
rack
inside.
8.
One in the side, 2-ball position, cross side, off angle, not an easy shot. 3-ball positioned across the table. If he goes for it, he's got to take his time and shorten it. But look, he had the good presence of mind to draw the, oh, he made it twice cross side. And he does have a shot on the 3. The 4-ball's positioned very closely, lower right-hand corner. He has to go forward with the cue ball here. Oh, I don't know about that shot. It looks like he's got himself a funny angle here. Oh, nicely executed shot. 6-ball across the table from the 5. This doesn't play that easy,
Billy,
Jim.
you feel like a mistake is coming. You're just waiting for it.
This shot doesn't play easy, Jim.
It's like an accident looking for a place to happen.
He'd probably fare best if he just cinched it and drew it back about a foot. Which he's, whoa, what a shot. He got off the cushion quite nicely for a position for the 6. He couldn't have asked for a better effort. Center of the pocket. The balls are starting to go in the center of the pocket now.
He's starting to enjoy this, and that is very ominous for Jose Parica.
Watch out.
Not a
Watch
good shot
out.
there.
He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to
Willing
go.
that cue ball on.
He's got to go. Uh-oh. It's marginal whether or not he should or shouldn't go for this shot. And if he goes for it, he's going to go for it with his left hand.
He's cutting it in. Well, like I said, you just felt like a mistake was coming. It was just a matter of time.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a good run by McCready, a very good run.
Parica finally comes back to the table with a 9 that's hanging over the corner pocket. And just like that, 5-3. Make that 6-3, sorry, to Keith McCready. And what a rack that could be.
Well, listen, he missed the 9. That adds to the suspense of this match, Jim. Therefore, that's a good way of looking at it.
Well, he's still talking. And as long as he's got the lead, could be very hard to shut the mouth. And look at Jose Parica. Jimmy Wetch to McCready's left. And just in behind him in the red, that's Ronnie Wiseman. Even the players come out to watch him. Why not?
Pocketing a ball on the break, setting the 1 down table, and the cue ball down the same side of the table that the 1's on. He's got a shot on the 1, and the 2 ball is conveniently positioned on the same side of the table that the cue ball is going to be going toward. After pocketing the 1, he'll play the inside of the 7, finally coming to rest near the side cushion, near the side pocket for position for the 2.
And the only way for Jose to take McCready out of this one and the crowd is he's got to keep him in his chair. You said that at the early stages, Billy.
Yeah, it's very important for Jose to execute well and to keep McCready in the chair so he can't converse with the crowd and get the crowd in the game. The game's got to be played just between Parica and McCready, and the only way Parica can guarantee that is to keep him in the chair. Once the crowd starts getting into it, Parica's going to be at a disadvantage. This is a pretty touchy shot here. He's going to have to go underneath the 9, it looks like. Oh, he went between the 8 and the 9, kissing the 5, and coming up with a real nice shot on the 5.
Never hard when you're working from the center of the table.
Parica walking around the table trying to figure out whether or not it's wise to stop where the 6 is. Does the 7 offer him the angle to drop nicely for the 8 if he does that? Evidently it does, because that's what he did. He'll then pocket the 7, drawing the cue ball down table, playing position for the 8 in the lower right-hand corner pocket. Now he's gone cross table. falling a little short of his mark, but still very workable. And that's what he's got to do.
Deposited. 6-4. McCready over Parica. And Jose's won the last 2 racks. He's kept McCready out of it. And that will be the key to success. And rack number 10 in the books. Back with Jose Parica at the table, trailing 6-4. He's got to try and make some headway into this. He's won the last 2 racks. And he's got the 1.
Yeah, he pocketed the 1 on the side, but he failed to come up with the shot on the blue 2 ball. The 9 ball has come in between the cue ball and the 2 ball, not allowing Parica to pocket the 2. It's going to be a very difficult shot to even push with. He's looking to play the combination right now. He can see that part of the 2 ball, and I don't think that he really has a good place to push to, Jim. So therefore, maybe he's better off playing the very difficult 2-8 combination. It's a shot that he really doesn't figure to pocket, but where are you going to push that you're not going to come back to the table being hooked? I think wherever he pushes, he's really not going to like it any better than what he has here when he gets back to the table.
Well, he's nominated the push, and all he's doing is leaving a chance for Keith McCready to bury him in behind the orange 5.
But he left him an angle where he must hit the 2 ball very thin in order to reposition the cue ball and hook him. So therefore, he does have to execute this shot. I think that was a little too fat. Maybe not. Looks like that he has put him in trouble.
First gentleman is the Italian national champion from Rome, Italy, player representative for long, going custody, Fabio Petroni, on table number 6. Thank you. And his opponent sponsored by Korea Sports, player representative for San Miguel Beer, 2-time world.
Jose will
US Open.
check this out. He almost got a window there from McCready, or has he, between the 8 and the 9.
Inductee of the Hall of Fame, an international superstar known as the Magicians. Please welcome back Mr. Efren Reyes. Thank you.
He left him just enough room to try and fly at that too into the other corner pocket.
He really hasn't left McCready much. The cue ball positioned closer to the side cushion. 7 ball blocks the lower left-hand corner. I don't know what he's left him. I don't think he's left him too much at all.
Keith McCready's actions really say it all. His hands on his hips. Not happy with that result.
Well, the key to this particular rack will be the 3 to the 4, Jim. The 4 ball is positioned at the foot end of the table near the bottom cushion. Now, as we look at the table now, that's the ball to the left. The ball to the right is the orange 5. So therefore, he's going to have to come up with a real good angle on the 3 to draw nicely for the position for the 4. And the type of angle that he wants, actually, and which will be tough for him to reach, is something like with cue ball, like right here. That'll give him the ability to draw back this way toward this gap, or maybe even hit the 5.
He's on that line, Billy, so the angle's there. This is all about control.
Now, he would like to try to draw this ball, if possible, toward the pink 4.
You'd certainly expect him to underhit this before overhit it, wouldn't you?
I think he's got to really stroke it and get it way back. So he wants to draw it toward the 4. And he overdrew it, actually, and he hit the 5, hit the 3 too thick, and that's why he didn't pocket the 3. Now, this shot is a very, very difficult shot to control the cue ball with, Jim. A lot of traffic down this end of the table surrounding the 4. He's got to be pretty careful here, or else he's going to find himself in back of one of those balls. Yeah, I don't...
Well, he's taking him 2 at once.
I don't know if he has room to pocket the 4.
He's eyeing it up pretty closely.
I don't think there's room. I think he's going to try to freeze the cue ball on the orange 5.
But I'm not so sure he's done that.
Well, I don't believe he's left Parica a shot on the 4. Looks like he's going to have to kick. Well, maybe not from that other vantage point on the monitor. Let's get a side look on this, if possible.
Look at Keith McCready. He's so fidgety in his chair. He just lives. He's got his heart on his shirt sleeve. He lives and dies in every shot.
Watch out, cue ball. Kissing off the 8 into the corner pocket. A really unfortunate happening there for Parica.
Well, he couldn't possibly have legislated for that in off.
No, he hit the 4 ball nice. Just didn't get the results that he wanted. McCready at the table already leading 6 games to 4 with only 3 balls positioned very nicely on the table.
Nicely controlled cue ball back to the 9. And this will establish the 3-rack lead again for McCready. Down it goes. He's back 7-4 in front. And he'll be breaking in number 12. Well, that was desperately unlucky for Jose Parica there.
Yeah, I really agree with that. He didn't have to scratch. He made a pretty nice shot cutting the 4 in. He realized he was going to go into the 8. He hit the 8 ball on the side and then ended up in the corner pocket. That was pretty unfortunate, but you got to deal with it. That's just the nature of the game. McCready at the table really loving this.
Rack 12.
3 ball. Pocketing a ball on the break, and he's in perfect line for the 1 in the side. He loves this. Parica scratching his head saying, how could this happen to me? Well, it's happening to you, Jose.
Your eyes don't deceive you. Just got to get from the 2 now to the 4, and he's got a perfect angle there. And the 5 over the bottom right. There you can see his break speed, just over 18 miles an hour. He's finding success. And he's not really hitting him that hard off the break.
Well, the 5 to the 6 is a slight problem, if there is a problem out there, and that's not much of one. Considering the position of the 5 closely positioned to the corner pocket, if he repositions the cue ball near the side cushion, he can just do about anything he wants. He's laying on a pretty good angle on the 5 to do around the 9, playing position for the 6 in the same pocket. And that's good speed. Both the 7 and the 8 are positioned in the center of the table with many options available for McCready. I would hate to be in Parica's position.
No, very unenviable. He's staring an 8-4 deficit right in the face, and against a man who's got the whole of the conference center on his side as well.
He's done happy with the angle that he's left himself. That's twice now he backed away from the shot. Didn't seem like it was that difficult, but there must have been something on his mind.
9 down, 8-4 confirmed. Keith McCready 3 racks away from a place in the A-side final. And he's still joking. He'll find humor in just about every situation.
Everyone here in attendance is waiting for Parica to make his charge, feeling that he invariably will do that before this match is over. But McCready's taking it away from him. He's taking it. He's playing really well. 1 on the side, 2 in the corner, another ball, pocketing 3 balls on the break, and he's straight in on the 3, the 4 ball finally coming to rest in the center of the table.
Well, it doesn't matter who he's playing if he can produce breaks like that.
He would like to attain a straight in angle on the 5 to keep the cue ball away from the cushion far enough so he can shoot the 7 down the lower left-hand corner pocket and then create the angle to go across the table where the 8 is on the other side of the table. So he wants to get off the cushion about a foot. Perfect angle on the 7. Now he needs to pocket the 7 with the center ball, sliding the cue ball cross table for position for the 8. He would like to keep a nice angle on the 8, which he has once again. That's perfect position on the 8. Perfect placement of the cue ball. He may have to stretch a little, but in spite of that, I think he'll be able to handle the shot. Drawing it back. He doesn't want to draw it all totally back toward that lower left-hand corner.
9 into the corner pocket for a 9-4 lead. And Keith McCready loving every minute of it here. He's on center stage, and he's got the wand in his hand.
Well, it just
and they're all dancing to the beat, Billy.
Yes, exactly. It just seems like the balls are very cooperative right now. They're cooperating, and they're just rolling his way. He's pocketing balls on the break. He's coming up with good shots and good layouts. But more importantly, he's executing well. McCready shooting a 950, pocketing the 1 in the side. And looks like he's got a shot. And look, the 8 ball bumped the cue ball further down the table to give him even a better shot on the blue 2 ball. He wants to clear the 4 and get around the 4. Perfectly executed shot. He would like to get back to the area of the table where the cue ball is now. Once again, all balls positioned nicely on the table. He's wasting very little time in between shots, Jim. He's in the rhythm he enjoys being in.
He is in the zone right now, Bill.
Look, everything seems to be going in the center of the pocket.
And right now, he's playing pool on a different planet.
I mean, what a one-sided match this has been.
This 9 to put Keith McCready on the hill. Oh! You never know when it's going to come. Look at that. 9-4, and he misses the easiest of 9s. This is the second time that Jose Parica has come to the table and looked at a 9 dangling over the corner pocket.
Well,
9-5 to McCready.
You never know what to expect when McCready's at the table. That's what makes it so exciting and so suspenseful. You just never know what he'll miss or what he'll make.
Well, look at him. He's just delighted to be out there right now. Living and dying on every single shot.
He's been living on the edge all his life. All his life on the edge. He knows how to handle situations like this. Nothing on the break. Parica has not been productive off the break. But the 6-10 kiss the 1 into the corner pocket. He has a shot on the 2. It's a very thin cut into the lower right-hand corner. I look for him to try to pocket this because if he pockets it, it looks like the cue ball will then go, well, 1.5 cushions for position for the 3 in the left-hand side. But it's important for him to pocket the 2. Not an easy shot, Jim.
Not at all. And having watched Keith McCready perform a little magic out there, how do you possibly stabilize the ship?
If he pockets the 2, I look for him to gain a shot on the 3. But this is a very difficult shot. Beautifully executed shot, Jim. Watch out. Watch out. It's coming close to that corner, but he is able to stay away from it.
Jose Parica, almost a sigh of relief there. You know, if he could put a couple racks together, he could play himself right back into this.
Yeah, no question about it. Everyone anticipates Parica coming back sometime in the match. With a little help from McCready missing the 9 in the last rack certainly opened the door for that.
Well, that's shocking when you think about it. Here's Keith McCready 2 racks away from a place in the A-side final, and Billy, he's missed 2 easy 9s.
And playing flawlessly just about on every other ball but the 9. Every ball he struck seemed to have hit the center of the pocket. But when he gets to that 9, I don't know. I don't know what to say, Jim. Actually, that little kiss off the 8 helped the situation. Now the 8 ball is repositioned in an area on the table that makes this run out just routine. He should play 2 cushions and end up a little below center table for position for the 7 in the side. Oh, he's falling a little short of the mark here. Look at this. Oh, this isn't really an ideal position to be in here. It looks like he may even have to go around the 8. Or if he can softly roll it in and come over here, that's perfect. But I don't think he can do that. He may have to go around the 8. Oh, he had to go around the 8. And if he's left himself a shot, he can consider himself fortunate.
You can see we're right behind it. He's almost straight in on this. As you said, Bill, very fortunate there.
Let's take a look at the angle. Oh, perfectly struck ball.
And the 9 will bring it back to 9-6. So Jose Parica with a breaking out. He could certainly use a few more of those. It's a race to 11.
But he got rather careless playing position for the 7. You know, the balls were lying really nicely for him, and he got a little careless there because he certainly landed on the unprofessional side of the 7, almost cost him the match, or that game for sure. And if Parica would have lost that game, it would have been very difficult for him to come back trailing 10 games to 5. But now it's a different story. It's 9 games to 6. Still has a legitimate chance at McCready.
Well, Keith looking very restless in his chair. The 2 down. And Jose's got a shot at the 1.
Now if we can get a shot at McCready, he'll start showing us some animation because he remembers that 9 that he missed, and he certainly is concerned about that now. He's saying to himself, look, he's looking at the score. Now he's kind of fidgety right now.
He never sits still at the best of times.
Big shot here, 1 to the 3. 5 to the 6 should answer where he wants to be on the 5, I would think, is either he would like to be here or here on the 5, one of those 2 spots. Now this shot here requires good cue ball speed. 1 cushion in between the 6 and the 7, and then up right here. Good cue ball speed he needs here. He's gone down a little further than he wanted. Now he finds himself on the cushion with a relatively straight angle on the 6. Maybe a slight problem here, Jim. If you notice, he walked around the table to see how he likes it, shooting the 7 in the side, going back up table and then down table again for position for the 8. If he likes it, you'll see him shoot it like that. Well, he was forced to shoot like that. Now look where he's ended up. This is a problem, Jim. He's got to hit this ball very pure in order to get it in the pocket and get the movement from the cue ball that he needs to get for position for the 8.
This is crunch time for Parica, too. At 9-6, the last thing he wants to do is turn the table over to McCready and let him get to the hill.
Big shot for Parica right here. He needs it, and he needs it bad. He hit it well, but does the cue ball have enough speed? It looks like it does. Excellent shot by Parica. Now that was a cool shot there, Jim.
Billy, a quick report from one of the outside tables. It's been confirmed we will have a new champion this year. Ralph Souquet has lost to Johnny Archer. So Archer will be meeting Niels Fayen, who took out Jose Garcia on the B side. The 9 down, and Jose Parica, 9-7. That 9 ball that McCready missed to go 10-4 in front is starting to look significant indeed.
Yes, it is. With every rack that passes and every rack that Parica wins, that missed 9 becomes even bigger, bigger, and bigger. Because his fate was in his hands, and he just may have allowed it to slip away. He wants another opportunity at the table, but considering how well Parica's breaking the balls, there's no guarantee that McCready's going to get back to the table. Look, pocketing 2 balls on the break, Jim, has a shot on the 2.
I just looked at McCready, sorry, Billy, and he was nodding his head. Seal of approval on that break.
He may even go into the green 6-ball here and stop the cue ball. This is a very difficult shot. Notice he's going to cut the 2 in. If he goes in between the 5 and the 6 here and comes back here, that's perfect, but I don't think he can do that. I think what he needs to do is go into the 6 softly and stop the cue ball in that fashion. See, he hit it too thick because he tried to do something he couldn't do. Had he hit it thinner, he would have went toward the 6. And if he would have hit the 6, that would have been good enough because the 3 ball's positioned on the same side of the table. Now McCready's back at the table with a rare opportunity on a rare Parica miss.
You just get the feeling that McCready's going to clear up this time. He's had some time to spend in his chair and think about the missed 9.
He wants to pull the cue ball back about 2 to 3 inches. That's good. He'll just cinch the 6, stop there, maybe draw it back 3-4 inches. He went forward. He's got to be careful here now. The side pocket is a big pocket if he opts to go 2 cushions. Which he did. He was able to stay away from the side. He's got a good angle on the 8 to drop nicely for the 9. He's got to hit it with enough speed to get back down table. Well, he's fallen a little short of the mark once again. A little bit of a tester on the 9.
You expect him to get it this time. And he does. Look at the animation from McCready. And there's his girlfriend. They're making their home in Washington, D.C. now. She's a court reporter. And she's living on every shot that McCready plays. Well, Keith McCready, he starred in the movie The Color of Money. And you know what, Billy? He can see the color of the money in this one.
Yes,
He's got
can.
his eyes firmly fixed on 30 grand. The winner's purse here at Chesapeake this year.
Wow, the balls were raining in. He pocketed 3 balls on the break. He has a shot on the 2. The 4 ball will be the next ball he'll be shooting after pocketing the 2. The 4 ball is positioned in the center of the table, but there's a slight problem, the position of the green 6. He went into the 6. Does he have a shot on the 4 at the other end? It looks like that he does. The 4 will pass the 5, and if the 4 passes the 5 safely into the pocket, the 5 is right there for his next shot. 6 is positioned in the center of the table. 7 is hanging in the side. This match could very well be over. Now what do you do?
Well, I think the fat lady can start warming up her vocal cords.
He would like to play the 6 in the side pocket, but the 7 blocks that pocket somewhat. So he's going to have to come back with the cue ball, and that's not the easiest of things to do. He's played position for the side. Now, if he happens to ticky the 7 here, he could create a problem for himself. Oh, he didn't ticky the 7, and he knows it's over now.
I'm not sure what he said there. Chips, please. He's not missing this one, Billy. The 9 down, and Keith McCready is in the A-side final. Congratulations from Jose Parica, and McCready will await the outcome of the Rodney Morris-Jeremy Jones match. But he is on song here in Chesapeake. 11-7, McCready over Parica.
Okay, we're here with Jose Parica, who has just fallen 11 games to 7 to Keith McCready. Well, you know, you knew you had a tough match. You knew it was going to be tough in a lot of different regards. He was going to be tough at the table. He was going to be tough off the table. Were you able to prepare yourself to handle this type of play?
Well, you know, plus he plays pretty good, and I play a little bad, you know. I can't hold the cue ball. That's why I lost the match.
Well, you know, I think the difference in the match was the break. He was making a lot of balls on the break, a lot more than you were, and he was very productive on the break. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I understood that. But anyway, he breaks pretty good, and he plays pretty good too, you know. And that's why he wins it.
Well, he did play extremely well. Jim's with him right now, and we're having an opportunity to listen to Jim ask Keith exactly how he got to where he got and how he feels about it. Jim?
Thanks, Billy. Yes, well, I'm here with a very happy Keith McCready. Needless to say, Keith, the A-side final sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
It sounds, it's a rarity, believe me. You know, I'm just really happy to, you know, because I really don't even play that much, and I'm just happy to be in this situation that I am in, and, you know, playing with all these great players around here, and for me to be in this spot, you know, I'm sort of overwhelmed.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Keith, just talking to a few of the gentlemen here, even a couple standing in behind me here, they said this was the Keith McCready show. I'll tell you what, you just can't seem to get any fan support.
It used to be back in the 70s, too, but, you know, right now, I'm just, you know, just trying to make a little comeback. But back in the 70s, it was the same show. But, you know, this is year 2004, so we got to move on with that. And, you know, anytime I can get this close, I'm tickled to death.
Now, Keith, I've got to talk to you. You started to get the measure of the break. We had a little chat before Billy threw over here, and I mean, you were starting to pocket a lot of balls on the break, and you were sitting perfect every time, and Jose couldn't seem to land the break the way that you did.
Well, actually, I mean, as far as this tournament's been, I went 0 for 11 in one match. I went 0 for 8 playing Alex Pagulayan. That's 0 for 18. I mean, I'm due to make a couple, but as it turned out, you know, I made a couple balls there on the break there when it really counted, and you know, I still really, you know, I'm still choked.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Keith. You're going to pack them in here tomorrow at noon. We're going to see you on center stage. You play the winner between Rodney Morris and Jeremy Jones. Any preferences?
I don't care who it is. It don't matter to me. Jeremy Jones and who? Rodney Morris? Well, I'd rather play Jeremy Jones.
Well, Keith, I'll tell you what. At noon, they'll all be here to watch you. Folks, Keith McCready, an 11-7 winner over Jose Parica. He's through to the A-side final. From all of us here in Chesapeake, it's been great.